Compromise without compromising yourself. It's crazy how the same word can have two completely different definitions. One is positive, one is negative, you know? But compromise without compromising yourself. One of the things that I found is that I am incredibly rigid. And being in this relationship, I've had to exercise my flexibility on certain things, as you should. I've been living my life a certain type of way that I don't want to deviate, but some certain things are going to have to change simply because I'm with somebody, you know. And when you hit those potential little obstacles, you have to navigate them, you know. And certain times, a lot of people are very immature in this topic because a lot of people don't realize that in a relationship, you will never get 100% of what you want. It's just not possible. It's just not possible to get every single little thing you want every single time you ask of your partner. It's impossible. You can't, you know? So that's why compromises are made, right? Even though I still am incredibly rigid, it's like I still am, maturing as I go in the relationship, and I'm realizing, okay, there's certain things that really aren't that big of a deal. Now, certain things that we call or I say not big of a deal, she say it is a big deal, and that's where we have to communicate. I know, crazy idea. We can't just throw and break a plate. We actually sit down and talk about our impasses to see how we're going to navigate them in the future. I know, crazy concept. You're welcome, free game, but one of the things that I say is the things I don't budge on at all are things that I really do feel are a direct link to my morals, principles, and values. This is where we get the woman that's giving way too much of herself. This is where we get the men that are actually applicably called the word simp. When they're doing too much for a woman. Who's my little bitch boy? Oh, I'm your little bitch boy. Yo, bro, why you letting her call you her little bitch boy? You think that shit cute? Well, it makes her happy, so shit. You know what I'm saying? It's yeah, you can compromise, but what happens when you compromise so much that she's calling you out her name, calling you out of your name just because it makes her smile? Fuck out of my face. It's disrespecting me makes you smile? That could never be a relationship I'm part of, So I will never make the compromise to that point because that's my morals, principles, and values. You ain't gonna talk to me out of my name like that. I'm not gonna make a name cute like that. But some of y'all dudes out there, y'all take it a little too far. Y'all be giving up a little too much. You know what I'm saying? And I just be sitting here nope, 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 nope. It's there's certain things that you really have to really sit down with yourself and say, hey, who am I at my core? What are some things about me that are not going to change? Now, this is the hard conversation because some of y'all say that this is never going to change and the thing that needs to change is incredibly toxic or it's the biggest thing that's holding you back in a relationship. But that's your journey, not mine. I'm just throwing out game for whoever wants to catch it, But yeah, just compromise without compromising yourself. No one's ever going to be perfect. There's going to be certain things that you're just going to have to agree to disagree on. There's going to be things that, you're going to find to be stupid as hell, but you just do it because, man, whatever. As long as you ain't, making me look like some little punk, as long as you're not openly disrespecting me and people, as long as you ain't talking behind my back, as long as I'm not contradicting my morals, principles, and values, hey, sweetheart, you can have whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Because, I always go at the guys because a lot of dudes are way too macho with shit. They sit back and listen to the dudes talk all day without ever once, listening to a woman's perspective about their behavior. I learn from both sides, just like the way I learn from light and dark, I learn from men and women. It's the same shit. You learn from the old and the new. It doesn't matter. It's there's the truth somewhere, and all you have to do is keep on applying it. Once you fill your life up with more and more truth, people that operate in lies are just going to fall off by the wayside. It's just that simple. Walk the path of truth and righteousness in everything, whether it's in business or it's in your relationships. It doesn't matter. Walk in the path of truth and righteousness, and all lies, darkness, and evil will be naturally weeded out. Till the next one.